Hello there, Leo, and welcome to your June forecast. It's really great to see you again, and I have to say this is probably my favorite time of the year to be doing forecasts because it's a perfect opportunity to not only look at where you're at, which is what we always do each month, but also to quickly review how far you've come, because we're at that center point where you can look and see, are you tracking to your goals? And you can also put new goals into sort of play so that the next 6 months are really productive. So you'll get a chance to do a little bit of both as we're looking at all the information coming through for this month. I'd like to remind you as well that you can always use these readings for your sun, your rising, as well as your moon signs. If you don't happen to know all three, just stick with the sign that you were born under and you'll get all the information that you need in that video. For all of my return viewers, I'd just like to say thank you so much for your continued support. You're the reason I show up each and every month. And if you're brand new, let me extend a warm welcome and just introduce myself. My name is Ashbaugh, and the way that I organize the videos each month is as follows. I like to start off with some channeled information right at the beginning, and this is where I just use my raw intuition alone. I follow that up with a full Celtic cross where we look at all of the information for the month ahead, and whatever needs to come through comes through at that point. Then I like to guarantee that there's certain things that we hit, including health, wealth, love, and destiny. I call that the expanded forecast, and we'll do that almost at the end. I'll review everything after that and leave you with a closing note. Now, if you really enjoy what you see here, I encourage you to stick around until the end, right around that closing message, where I'll also give you a chance to give back and support the channel. And you can do this in a multitude of ways, anywhere from just liking and subscribing to joining me on social media to booking an appointment or even contributing a little bit and becoming a patron. So all of that information will be at the end, but I know that you're really interested in what's coming through for this month. So without any additional delays, let's get straight into the forecast. As I began to meditate over the cards that I was going to use today and really tune into the energy of your sign, I felt this wonderfully warm embrace of energy. It was as if there were several angels or guides kind of just giving me a hug. And the message that I received was, you're not alone, and it's important for you to lean on that spiritual support system this month. So ask for guidance, and I'll get into all of the small text in just a second, but I want to talk about asking and why it's important to ask. Your sort of spiritual team that's always around you, angels, guides, and other ascended beings, they're always there subtly giving you information and reassurance. But if you really want their assistance and you'd like them to intervene, the more you are open to it, and if you ask a direct question, it really allows them to step in and help you to the maximum of their abilities, basically. Ultimately, you have free will and you're the one that's going to make the decisions, but when you ask for help and say, I'm ready for guidance, I'm ready to receive, and you're truly open, then all of a sudden the floodgates open and they're there for you. The other piece of this was in the physical realm, you can also be asking for help from your friends, from professionals, and from any sort of mentors that might be in your life. So you can also work with tangible corporeal beings as well. And they want you to know that you don't have to go through whatever it is you're doing right now alone. So reach out, ask for help, lean on that support system. And if you don't have it, seek it out or start to develop it. But even if you're trying to find those tangible physical beings in your life right now, know that in the etheric realm, that your guides are there, that the angels are there, and that you can ask for the support, that you're loved, and that you're also cared for in that sort of energy space as well. So I hope that makes sense for you, and I think that could be a really great activity this month in your meditation, is just to try to connect with your guides, to be open, and to be grateful that they're there. They're going to step in more and more as you start to open up your heart and your mind and allow them to be present. One last thing that I'd like to say before we jump into the Celtic Cross is, if there's something where you feel lost, there could be a business situation, a financial or a legal question that you have, you're being pushed in this area as well to seek out a professional to make sure that you have all of the necessary information to make the best decision possible. Hopefully this will save you from making any sort of errors that might cost you time, energy, or money down the road. So seek out a professional to help with big questions that you don't have the answers for this month. It's going to be well worth the time and the money as well. All right, let's take a look now at the cards and see what they have to say. I'm going to remain quiet at this point because I like to really absorb the energy as I lay out the Celtic Cross, but I'll join you right afterwards and relay how each and every card is important for the month ahead. As I was looking at your catalyst this month, I actually felt a feeling of sort of frustration and sometimes even self-defeating thoughts, as in, this is going to be too hard, or I haven't been able to do this before. There was a lot of sort of questions swimming around, a lot of resistance actually. And the card itself says heal, but when you look at the illustration, it's really about unshackling or releasing. And through that release, you notice the heart space opening up, and there's that feeling of being able to really be free. What I find interesting is at the beginning, I could feel this energy that felt almost like angelic wings wrapping around me. And I think that this is also showing you have your own ability to be free and fly, because I still get that feeling of wings here. And when we look at the illustration, it's encouraging you to take a leap of faith that is going to allow you to break free. We have the Devil card here in reverse. I want to zoom in way at the bottom here on the ankle here where the shackles are. For me, that's the most important detail in any particular Devil card. You'll sometimes see people, you'll sometimes see a figure in the background, but in each card, if they're in the Rider-Waite tradition, there's usually something holding them down or holding them back. This month, you get to release that shackle. It could be a way of thinking. I was feeling those sort of self-defeatist thoughts. It could be an addiction to food, to drugs, to sex, and sometimes even to a certain way of being. It could be a limiting sort of environment that you're in, something that's toxic where people hold you back and don't allow you to shine as brightly as you can shine. Whatever your version of this sort of shackles are in your life, I want you this month to realize you are absolutely set up for success. You just have to trust yourself. You have to let go of the thoughts, and you have to spread your wings and take that leap. Your center card is Temperance, and it's crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. Now, the combination of the two of these show me that despite whatever kind of challenge is going on here in your ego this month, you're actually going to have some good luck and productivity when it comes to work, school, finances. The important thing for you with Temperance is obviously not to go to extremes. There's a conservative undercurrent that kind of comes through with this. And I would say when you focus on the Wheel of Fortune, it's a cycle card for, like, if you kind of view yourself now in a reset mode where something maybe wasn't working or you've just made a decision. And I talked about this at the very beginning when I was just saying June is important. That's what these two cards are showing. That this month you can completely change your trajectory. You can move from the Devil, to the Wheel of Fortune. And all that is important is that once you've made a decision, that you're steady, that you're consistent. And that's really what I think the central message is when we see those two cards. In the deep past, you have the Hermit card reversed. Let's look at it upright just so you can kind of take in the imagery here. When I looked at this card, my eye was drawn directly to the footsteps here. And what's interesting with this is I got the message, it's time to follow your own path. And the Hermit is often a soul-seeking card, trying to understand what makes you tick, what your motivations are, what your power is. That's what the light is all about. That's what the lantern is. Normally there's a star in there, there's a candle in this particular illustration, but normally you see a star and it indicates sort of a segue into the star card. Because when you finally understand what your power is and then you integrate it, then other people are drawn to your confidence, to your light, to that integration of truth that's in everything that you do. Some of you are still holding back a little bit. The card was reversed. Some of you might be dimming your light. Some of you may also be kind of pulling back from people and opportunities. So this may be, for some of you, what you have to overcome. The sort of lack of confidence, the shyness, or the that moment where, as I said earlier, it's time to spread your wings. That Devil card can show a contract or a feeling of obligation. This could be because you're in a relationship or a contract that you've outgrown. This is a natural thing. It happens to all of us at some point. Most of us have quit a job or broken up with someone or just kind of fallen away from a certain situation. I feel like for some of you, you are ready to kind of shed your skin in one of those areas, and you just have to really feel that out for yourself. And if it feels authentic, no matter what people think, this is what you have to do. This is what's going to allow you to move forward. We have the Knight of Swords here in the recent past. So if you've already taken that first step, then this is a confirmation that you're on the right path with that. If you haven't, then this is showing you that it's okay. We need to move from that Hermit reversed state into the Knight, which is action, activity. And because we have swords here, it's also about transparent, open, and clear communication as well. And there might be for some of you a need to meet with a lawyer or create a new contract. Any of the sort of court cards within the suit of swords can indicate legal disputes, legal matters in general. So don't be afraid to kind of look through all of that. Now, if you're a creative type, all of these things can mean something slightly different, and they're pretty good actually. Temperance and Wheel of Fortune show me that there might be something that you've been thinking about doing for a while, and all of a sudden you get this surge of energy, and you finally can see how this can come to fruition. The Hermit, followed up by the Knight of Swords, shows me that now you're going to start to do something with it. And this can be a source of pain or learning in the past that you're going to use and channel through the art. So that's an exciting vehicle for some of you. Remembering that as we look at this Catalyst card, when you reinterpret it, when you relive it through the lens of art, there's actually going to be a healing component in it. And to that end, artistic expression overall is great. So whether it's dance, poetry, writing, painting, or some other sort of form of expression, that's going to be a primary way for many of you to find healing this month. So don't be afraid to do that. And maybe it's just the consumption of art or creative medium that will also help you. So reading some sort of a self-help book, or even some sort of fiction book that kind of speaks to your voice or to your experience, or watching something on television. I think that immersing yourself in a creative process overall will be really good for many of you. This is probably one of my all-time favorite illustrations or interpretations of the Ten of Wands. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, you will notice someone that is carrying like a stack of wood on their back, and they feel heavier for the load. It's really difficult, and there's a burden associated with it. But there's also a sense of letting go, because you'll see the person walking towards a new destination, and you know they're going to let go of that stack of wood. The question really is, what are you going to do with that? There's a creative element with it as well. This is really showing the element of fire that exists within the Ten of Wands, and the ability to rise above adversity. Since the card was reversed, the question to you is, are you ready? Because if you are ready to do that, that's when the healing comes through, and that's when the freedom comes through. In the environment, we have the Hierophant, and I'll get to that more in a second, but the reason that I'm showing that right now is that it harkens back to the advice message that I received when I was channeling information for you. So for those of you that are feeling either stuck or trapped, you might know how to make the move, but not when. And you might be really worried about overall sort of well-being, and it's all kind of in motion, but you don't know how to bring it together. That's when you want to activate and get that guidance in to help you make a decision, and to help you sort of see how it's going to work from A to Z. You have a really exciting opportunity this month. When I look in the near future, this particular Eight of Cups is telling me that you get to rewrite your future. We sometimes create a path for ourselves when we're a little kid. We decide, okay, when I grow up, I'm going to be this, this, or this. The crazy thing is, how can we even possibly know when we're like 16, 18, etc., who we are, what our capacity is, with the rare exception of, someone who is really enlightened at that age. I would say the vast majority of us change, and we shed our skins many times over the course of our adult life. This time, as I'm looking at this card, what I'm seeing is you have a chance now to be like that little kid, but with all of the knowledge of wherever you are in your life. And now you can move forward with a sense of confidence and sort of poise that maybe you lacked earlier. And when you start to state things moving forward in a declarative, rather than what would you think if I did this, or maybe I want to do this, or I think I want to do this, when you now move forward, having done the introspective work that we saw with the Hermit, when you maybe did literally all the hard work that was required to learn something, when you made a decision to take all of those lessons and move on, then you know exactly what's at stake and you're ready to kind of embrace the opportunity. Then when you state, this is what is going to happen, I'm ready for this, here's how I plan to do it, there's going to be strength in that. Conviction is really what's coming through with this particular Eight of Cups. It's a second chance, but you are coming back. A lot of times we see the character on the Eight of Cups walking away. I get the feeling that you're coming back. And with the Eight of Cups, there's always room for that one cup. It's missing there, but you know that you can put it back. Notice how that's exactly what's happening in this one. We now see you in the active state. You've taken that journey. And the journey may have been windy and difficult and taken some unexpected turns, but now you have so much knowledge and so much more confidence. I strongly believe that there are no accidents or coincidences in life. There are choices, we make those choices, but we call in those experiences and they all make us richer, even the ones that we don't like, don't want, or didn't expect. You have everything you need now to be happy and successful moving forward. Whatever happened and whatever is still sort of happening that makes you feel maybe out of sorts, this month you get to take that and reshape it. You are the creator, you are the writer, you are the artist, you are the voice. Own the voice. I know that there are younger people that watch this. There might be someone that was 16 or 18 or 13. What I want to encourage you to do at that age is to really do what your heart says and express your heart's desire with the confidence that's appropriate for your age. Just own it, because this particular Eight of Cups card is saying whether you're 8, 18, or 88, the way in which you convey your heart's desires, that's what's going to either embolden people to listen to you and follow you, or push them away or make them question or doubt you. So when you know what you want, when you know who you are, and when you say it in a way that is compelling and has conviction, then you are a force to be reckoned with and you can pretty much do anything that you want. So start to own that power now. Kindle the flame that we see here. Don't second guess it, don't mute it. Okay, let's move along to the ego. So in the ego, we have the devil card in reverse. I actually like the reversed devil because it's showing that you're ready to walk away from something. It can show that there was unexpected knowledge that came to you that could have thrown a curveball into your life. Maybe you learned that there was a friend that didn't tell you the truth. Maybe someone that you're dating isn't available. They're still attached to someone. Maybe a divorce wasn't final, or you found out that they're still seeing someone on the side. Whatever came through, though, it was better that you learned it now than later. And even if you learned it later than you thought you should, it's a blessing that it's coming through at this time, because it allows you now to potentially let that person go or that situation go, because it could have been a not so good investment of time, energy, and money for some of you too. So this is coming through to allow for a shift. This shift is important because there's still a cycle, and that's what we see with the Eight of Cups. It is a card of returns, but you can break it and you have power this month. So own it and really celebrate it. Looking in the environment, we have the Hierophant. And this is showing the power of creating a new habit, because this is a very sort of stubborn and I would also say very rigid card. So you may need or you may benefit from working with someone who's really organized or can keep you accountable. And that's where I was talking about earlier, the benefit of asking for guidance, whether it's your friends, your guides in spirit, or a trained professional. This mentorship or this guidance could really help keep you on track and provide you that shelter, that sort of roadmap or blueprint that you need to get to the next phase, because that next phase is really exciting. You're one of the few signs this month where I see a lot of great money cards coming through. I've got the Ten of Pentacles. So we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Pentacles. This was more of a potential card because it was crossing the center. This is in your opportunity space where I see hopes, fears, and desired action. So I really want you to focus on all of the potential opportunities in front of you when it comes to work, school, and also just where you want to put your energy. Some of you might decide to create something that could really catch on. So whether it's a a new company, a product, some sort of an idea that you're going to patent, or if you just suddenly start to really pour your heart and soul into your job and things take off, it's exciting. The Ten of Pentacles is also a domestic card, usually showing marriage and families. Not so much in the love sort of energy that you would get with the Ten of Cups, but it's more about stability. I see that as having a nice home, being safe, having the convenience and the security of marriage. Now, what's important here is that you have to go into the ego again and make sure that that is what it seems, that there is no facades or there is no sort of projection. Once you've kind of healed yourself and healed anyone else, then you can get back to this if you want to. But there is a need to sort of look at the, if you will, at the foundation of things. I would say your core relationships, you really want to look at them and see, who do you trust? Who trusts you? Who do you kind of feel this reciprocity towards? If there are people that kind of naturally come through as problematic, this is the month to either fix that or move forward and decide not to put the energy into sort of either the codependent relationship or a relationship where someone's not showing up the way they should. Your outcome card is the Five of Swords, and it's reversed. So don't second guess yourself this month. It's really important for you to, again, you notice that this one is much more focused on work. It almost looks like a Five of Wands. I think it's important for you to use your energy to create things that matter to you and use your words to affect people in a way that you feel proud about, that you're going to want as a legacy. Imagine that, well, nowadays it's kind of true, especially when we tweet things or text things or put them online, they never really go away. So in the past, there was sort of that symbolic idea that words actually can kind of stick with you and they're in your aura. Now they are sometimes just digitally printed out there for a long time. So know that your words have power, pick and choose how you want to engage with others, and know that your energy is going to be better spent on focusing on personal development, moving forward, in fact, maybe taking a job transfer or deciding to sell your house, because we have the Ten of Wands, the Wheel of Fortune, and also the Ten of Pentacles. So for many of you, that could be a relocation. In fact, those three cards are exactly what I would expect in a relocation. There might be a question for some of you if that's going to be best for your family, and that's what the Devil card could show. And there might be this sort of trade-off. Is this good for you or is it good for the family? And can you find a better experience that might be not forcing you to make a choice between the two? So ultimately, this month is bringing opportunities for you, opportunities to unshackle yourself, maybe an opportunity for growth for many of you. And some of you have to balance out what's best for you versus others. I would say in the latter, just make sure that you find you're not sacrificing yourself for everyone else, because ultimately that isn't sustainable either. This is a month for healing across the board, and you should be able to find things where you can break free from feeling trapped. So don't accept an offer or an opportunity or a proposal or even a relationship when the strings are pulling you or you feel like someone else is pulling you like a marionette. This is your chance to be free, to speak and to act with your own strength. And in doing so, you create a new cycle and a new sort of energy about you that will allow for you to continue to be prosperous and happy. And that's really why we show up every month, is to find ways to help you own your power and also help you kindle your light so that you can move from being the hermit to the star. Let's expand your forecast now. We're going to take a look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. The very first card that we're going to look at is health. And this isn't just your body. In fact, oftentimes this is a way of thinking or feeling, or it might show an energy that you need to work on, maybe a chakra or a way of thinking or being. So let's give the cards a shuffle and see what we can do to kind of open up a message for health. You may remember at the beginning that I said you're not alone. We have this wisdom card, it was reversed, but I think it harkens back to the very first thing that I talked about, which was to ask for guidance, whether it's friends, guides, professionals. In this case, I think it could also be a second opinion or even just getting checked out. So if there's something going on in your body, you're not feeling good, this is saying you absolutely need to trust that internal wisdom that it's time to go, even if you don't want to, and get some assistance. when I'm kind of glancing at all of the cards this month, I think this is especially true if there's any sort of addiction or cyclical thing that's been going on and you can't seem to overcome it yourself. Absolutely, you need to get professional help for that. For some of you, whenever I see 10 of Wands, there is a general note that you want to be careful with how you are balancing or carrying weight on your back. There could be some adjustment issues going on in your spine, or even just some sensitivity for whatever reason. So be very careful about how you carry bags, purses, attaches, or if you're in a particular career like construction where you might be lifting heavy things, you really want to be careful. There could be a little bit of a possibility of throwing out your back, and you don't want to do that. Those are the main messages that I see coming through in that area. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Remember that guidance is going to steer you in the right direction, and shop around until you find a person that really hears and feels the way you do when it comes to how you treat your body. So basically get a doctor that listens is what I'm saying. Let's go ahead now and take a look at wealth, knowing that wealth isn't just money. It's about self-worth, opportunities, and also how you approach the opportunities coming through to you. You have a lot of beautiful change opportunity that's sitting within this frequency shift card here. So your message when it comes to wealth is change is afoot if you're ready for it, and it requires an internal sort of switch to happen for that to be successful. Something that we saw and talked a great deal about when we looked at the Eight of Cups. So this month, if you open yourself up to opportunity, there's a lot that wants to come through. It's important that you value yourself. We talked earlier about, like right before I shuffled the cards, that wealth isn't just money. To get the Wheel of Fortune that we saw crossing the center, or the 10 of Pentacles that I see here in Hopes, Fears, and Desired Action, the way that you can get that to manifest is by believing this is possible. I can do this. I want to do this, and putting the energy out there. If you're in a situation right now where that's not happening, maybe you're not paid enough, maybe your boss is too rigid, doesn't understand what it is that you're trying to do, you've hit a glass ceiling, or you just feel like I'm only showing up to clock in, clock out, I'm not feeling anything, then what's required is, okay, then I'm going to start to make some changes in my life, and this is how I'm going to do it. This almost to me looks like an egg and things coming out of that. So you have to plant the seed and decide, if not this, then what? And then once you've decided the what, then you start to feed it and fertilize that new cell, that new seed, so that it can grow. Just like a plant outside, you can't just put it in the dirt and not water it, or you can't just leave it out there and expect it to grow without the soil. You have to create the opportunity. So if you're ready for change, set it in motion and start to every single day start to work on that. And that's what we've been seeing in both the Eight of Cups card here and also the Five of Swords, which was reversed. It's all about you focusing, working, and making something happen. When you show up, the universe rewards you for that persistence. It may not happen in the timing that you think it will, but it will happen. I really think for many of you, though, you have to step away from something this month, or you have to reshape it. So if you're going to stay put in a relationship, a job, or some other situation, change is necessary. If you can't make the change, or others won't allow you to make the change, then you have to move on, and that's why we have the 10 of Wands, okay? But the good news is continual shifting, continual movement, continual growth. And with the frequency card, I'm also going to remind you that your thoughts manifest. So as long as you stay positive about what you can do in the future, then you'll continue to see movement in that area. Let's move along now and take a look at love, knowing that this is going to include not just romantic relationships, but how you are conducting yourself across the board with friends, with family, and then also with loved ones. The message in love is all about the lessons that were learned here. It's interesting that we get a card about education here. I think I said earlier that there really are no mistakes. Everything that we do, we call in for a reason. And I keep going back to the ego card this month because it's showing some sort of a surprise, disappointment, or upset when it comes to things that matter or are close to your heart and your soul. So I want to kind of remind you when I'm looking at this education card that if you can look at all things in your life, blessings, blocks, and otherwise, as an opportunity to learn and grow, then you are going to feel a lot better about what's going on. And you can make choices. What happened was for you, not to you, which is an important distinction. And now you get to take power and say, okay, I'm going to move from this and I'm going to attract this instead. I want you to start to be the manifester in your life and really own this particular card here, which is, I can do this now. I'm coming back with the experience, with the knowledge, and I am now like this craftsperson. I can shape things and attract things and understand things on a level that I didn't before. And there might be a very significant relationship coming through this month where the main thing that it is a chance for you to either learn from or to teach another. And we have the Hierophant in your environment. There could be someone coming in that can also help you see through this. Maybe it's a trusted friend or an aunt, an uncle, or a psychologist. Whoever it is, I feel like it's good to lean on that person. And that again goes back to the original channeled information, which was to ask for guidance. But I feel like the lesson has been learned, but it's just a matter of accepting it and acknowledging that that was what the purpose was, and that it wasn't punishment. It was basically like a graduation. So when that lesson is done, you can feel like you are free, and then you can move forward and you can be grateful. This is the hardest thing, actually, for all of us, including spiritual people, is just looking at someone who may have done something to you and you feel bad, or a situation that didn't work out. Maybe you got fired, maybe you didn't get accepted for a job, maybe, I don't know, something happened where you just felt like, I really deserved that, or I didn't deserve that. At the end of the day, if you look back maybe 5-10 years distant from that and think, you know what, I'm so glad this didn't happen because I ended up here. Or if you are in a really good place in your life right now, maybe what you could do this month is go back and think about some of those twists and turns, and you realize that someone that you thought was an adversary was actually there to help you. It was a blessing in disguise. And I think that's the message in love this month, is to view everybody through a kinder lens and see that we brought one another into our lives for lessons. That's why we're on this planet, to learn, to evolve, and to get better. And ultimately, we're teaching and working for ourselves at the end of the day, because yes, God and the universe will help us take a look at everything, but we judge ourselves. So make sure, that's why I keep kind of going back to this, make sure that you're happy and being authentic to what's important to you. If you do that, you're living your best life and everything's going to be okay. All right, let's look at your destiny card. Destiny is a great way to look at that GPS that I was just talking about and make sure that your trajectory is the right one. Your destiny card was reversed. Let's go ahead and take a look at it upright. It says care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what's right for everyone involved. Offer a helping hand. And I think that this is that sort of mentorship message that we keep going back to in the channeled information here. So if you can help. If you need help, ask for help. The other thing is to just really live your life, I would say your day, your month, your year, your entire life with that energy of care and compassion. This is what's going to really endear people to you, and it's what's going to bring in that opportunity that I see everywhere this month. And that care and compassion starts with yourself. So whatever it is that you're trying to heal or overcome, when you start to forgive yourself, when you start to trust yourself, then it's going to be okay. And also, when we're looking at care, I see it as sort of focus, like taking a lot of TLC when it comes to the work that you're doing. And when you do that, then I think everything in your life you should be proud of, particularly your day-to-day work. So if you're not fully invested, remember that all energy, all words, all actions are ultimately going to be a representation of your body, your soul, your person. So try to make them count. And I think that that's what this is about. And if for some reason you can't get invested in a particular situation, then it's time to move on. And that really is why that this card is in the crowning position. You can rise above whatever challenge, frustration, or current sort of situation is at hand. You just need that little push from within. This is a perfect time now to review everything that we talked about. Stick around and then I will give you a closing word after this. As we talked about earlier, there is a general message this month that you are loved, you are supported, and all you need to do this month is to reach out and ask for that support. Whether it's in the etheric realm and you're talking to your guides, or it's in the physical realm and you're talking to friends and trained professionals, guidance is there, support is there. Reach out and allow it to come through. This ultimately is going to help you heal yourself and break through any potential blocks or anything that's tethering you and keeping you from going as far as you should. There's a lot of great opportunities coming through this month, and I will kind of point to both of these cards, even though this is further along in the spread. We have both the Wheel of Fortune and the Ten of Pentacles. So if you allow yourself to move and move on, then you're going to have some great opportunities breaking through for you. But this is going to require, for some of you, a physical move, perhaps leaving a job, or perhaps repackaging your skills in a different way. But once you do that, then again, some really exciting opportunities are in front of you. Remember to keep your cool this month. We have Temperance in the center. And if you do that, this is going to allow you to continue to be productive and focus on what's important. Many of you have already done the required work to understand what's going on in your life, what's important to your life. And what you're going to have a chance to do this month is draw parallels now to this and the Eight of Cups, which is going to give you strength, conviction, and it's going to also allow others to see that value. If we look at this in a diagonal, you're on a really good trajectory when it comes to that introspective work. This is the month, however, to take action, so don't feel that you have to continue to kind of go into this cycle. For some of you, this could also be beating yourself up. Don't do that anymore. You learned what your lesson. Now you can move forward. Now you can move on. Now you can actually put your energy into something that matters. It may help to have someone organize things for you. So you may need an assistant, you may need a boss, you may need a mentor to help show you the way and the next path. But as long as you know what you want to do, I feel like you're going to be able to find that conduit. I see a good amount of money and opportunity coming through for this sign this month. The only thing that it could take you off path is if we combine the Devil with the Eight of Cups. This shows cycles, and you want to break this particular cycle. Whether it's doubt, addiction, fear, anger, whatever it is, this is your big opportunity this month. This is what we saw in the Heal card. This is what you can unshackle. Ultimately, don't second guess yourself. More importantly, focus on one thing that you really want to put your energy into. This is going to help you stay effective, efficient, and really keep you on the path that you should be on. Ask for help, again, if you need it when it comes to your general health and well-being. This could be a second opinion. It could just simply be going to the doctor. Make sure that that doctor also is understanding and listening to you and working in a way that is authentic to you. Your thoughts have great power now and always, but especially this month. The frequency shift is showing that when you've made that decision for whatever change or opportunity you'd like in your life, then the universe starts to react to it. Again, I see multiple, what looks like overlapping aches here. So you can have more than one idea and start to see progress in that area. Everything coming through in your life is a lesson and an opportunity. One or more relationship this month may be primarily there to teach you something. When the lesson is learned, you can let go, especially if it's a difficult relationship or a difficult situation. Once you do that, then your heart is open and you can start to focus on the productive stuff that we saw here. Live every day with care and compassion. Do what's right for you and others. And I said earlier, though, that you should not fall second place in that equation. There should be opportunities that really make the sum of the people happy, you and everyone. It shouldn't be them versus you. And I think that's also a component that I didn't see the first time with this. So I just want to underline that one more time. You have to be happy too. And when that happens, again, you are free, others are free, and you've broken maybe that cycle of feeling like you're held back or held down. You're authentic. So this brings your monthly reading to a close, but I hope you got exactly what you needed so that you can travel through this month with a feeling of strength, of confidence and conviction, because that was something that came through really strong for you this month. If you ever want to talk at a greater depth about anything that was discussed in this general reading, or perhaps you have some questions about something going on in your own life, I'd be happy to talk to you. All you have to do is click on the first card in the video or the first link below the video, and that'll take you to my website where you can check out rates and availability. If it makes sense, then go ahead and book an appointment, and I look forward to chatting with you. I mentioned earlier that everything that you see on this channel is fan supported, so if you really enjoyed what you saw today and you would like to support me in some way, I do offer a way to do that. All you have to do is click on the second card in the video or the second link below it, and that'll take you to my website, my official website, where I talk a little bit about becoming a patron. And all that really means is if you like what you see and you want to give like $1 to help fund the channel so that I can buy cards, or more importantly, simply carve out some time on my calendar to do the videos. Each one takes about 1 day to produce, then it's very much welcome, appreciated, and it's actually what makes this all possible. When you go to that page, you'll see that there are many ways that you can do this, from simply using PayPal to Patreon to also doing a donation just through the website. So whatever works for you, feel free to do it. And I just want to say thank you, and I actually want to dedicate this to anyone that's done that in the past. Everything that you saw today was completely a result of all the kindness and the generosity of all of the fans out there. So thank you so much, especially if you made it possible. And for those of you that want to give back but don't really have the funds to do so, or just want to do it in a different way, I welcome you to join me on social media. The third link and the third card will allow you to connect with me across Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and also on my newsletter. And then if you feel inclined and really, again, want to advocate, please share it on your feed and know that that's going to help me spread the word. And this is a free resource for many, and I really want to kind of reach as many people as possible so that we can brighten and lighten the energy on this planet. That's why I'm showing up each and every month. So doesn't matter how you supported me, if you chose to do so, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And with that being said, let's move along to your final message. I really want to focus on the last card here, care and compassion. I think that this could be the key for many of you to letting go of whatever it is that's kind of manifesting here as the devil. When we look really closely at this card, you can see that there is two people, and they're kind of joined in the same body. I think there are really two messages that are coming through. One is that if there is a person in your life that is taking your power or not allowing you to be yourself, it's important to make that break this month. Sometimes it takes one person to be the stronger one, and this card is saying that may have to be you if the other person isn't willing to step up. The second and most important thing that comes through for this is that your happiness matters. If you have a life purpose, a dream, an aspiration, and you haven't given yourself a chance to kind of go after that, this is the month, this is the time, and it will bring you success and happiness, so don't be afraid to do that. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here for you. You have a lot of choices each and every month. It's my honor to be here for the past 40 minutes or so. Wishing you love and light always. Share your light with others as well and make this planet a better place. I'll see you again in a month's time. Take care.